es la voz de LA. It's like una galaxiana, come and kick it with us. I bring the bossa nova beats and talk the club that we love. Another year to adjust, and well, Coons we all trust. 6 titles in the cabin, tell the haters shut up. Mirar al horizonte con el cielo morado. Llegamos al estadio como siempre lo hago. Es la nueva temporada, ya cumplí 30 años. Rezándole a San Pequi que no dé al travesaño. Que repartan los balones y no sean tacaños. Que regrese el contraataque y que le hagamos daño. Un saludo para Rob, hermanos ecuatorianos. Que la táctica de Ananda nunca sean en vano. Si se trata de mi gala me levanto temprano. Ver el fur en verano, en el pasto tumbado. Siempre estoy a tu lado, en cualquier resultado. Vamos Galaxy, on top is where I gotta be. Chilling in the canopy, staging like a winery. Goals during rivalries, brew from the refinery. Only want the finer things, we letting you know. Lo que pasa en la galaxia, ready, let's start the show.
Hello, hola, and buenas, and welcome back to another episode of La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast always made with love for all you LA Galaxy fans out there and all you international soccer fans out there as well. You have a home here too, and we're going to be talking about a little bit of everything. But today, we're going to kick it off. The LA Galaxy face it off against Sporting Kansas City in a battle once again of the bottom of the table teams at Dignity Health Sports Park on Saturday, September 27th. Former LA Galaxy striker Dejan Joveljic returns home to where he became the hitman he is today, as he is one of SKC's only bright spots in an otherwise dismal season. We'll look at how the Galaxy might look and deal with him. We'll look at how the Galaxy might line up as well while still dealing with injuries. If the Galaxy defense can stop Deki, and how many goals we might see in a game that always has plenty of them. If the Galaxy can rouse themselves for this match, despite being eliminated from the postseason, and whether some Galaxy players could be returning from injury. Plus, a former MLS player has some scathing words about Inter Miami and the way that franchise is apparently being ran. All that and more coming up on La Cuna Galaxiana tonight. But before we go any further, let me go ahead and introduce myself. I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Halon. You can find my written work at the Sporting Tribune, and you can find me online just like the tag says that way, with some way. I don't know which way I'm pointing, but it's at El Escudero de LA. If you see me online, say what up. And yeah, before we kick it on over to my co-host, you know him as always. He's in that seat with me as usual, el yerno guapo y gitano perdido, Ananda Kirana. Papa, you know what? We just slid on into home here, and we just made it. How good does it feel to be back with these Cuneros in here in chat?
Feels good, man. Sorry about the late start, guys. You know, sometimes life takes over, but it's good because, you know, Josh stops his show perfectly right before we came on. So, you know, you guys that are always doing the programming, yeah, the programming, get your Monday and Thursday fix of LA Galaxy content. That's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. So again, thank you guys for joining us. But we've got a pretty full slate today. We've got another game. Of course, the Galaxy are officially eliminated from the playoffs, but you know what?
That's going to be fun, man. There's a lot of fun stuff to talk about.
There's a lot of fun stuff. There's a certain man that's coming home back to the digs. We'll talk about him a little bit later in the show. And of course, I think all of us fans, at least me in particular, have one eye on potentially winning a trophy, Baba. I mean, a trophy is still a trophy, right? I know it's only one game. No, don't give me that. It's only one game, but a trophy is a trophy. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I don't care. Like, you know, like I was listening to Corner of the Galaxy live show, and, you know, Sophie was talking about, like, did Tottenham have a better season than Arsenal last year because they actually won a trophy, right? I don't care if you call it Mickey Mouse. A trophy is a trophy. It is what it is.
Okay, but the stakes are a little bit different because Tottenham's trophy gave them a path to the Champions League, right? I've asked around, and I've done a little bit of digging, and I still don't have a conclusive answer. But as far as I know, aside from like the trophy itself, like, hey, we have like this piece of hardware to put into our trophy cabinet, I don't think there's like anything that goes along with this prize. Like, dude, there's no international cup competition like slot. I don't think there's a monetary prize. Like, I could be mistaken, but I mean, I've looked, I haven't found it. I mean, it's so, and you know, I've asked brighter people than myself, like the Podfather, like Demi Cajon, and they didn't seem to know at the moment either. It could be that, you know, they found out in the interim, but yeah, I mean, so there's a very big difference between the Europa League, you know, that trophy with, you know, carrying that Champions Cup berth and millions upon millions of dollars to the Campeones Cup, which is, by all intents and purposes, just like a, you know, a one-off. And yeah, it's like they won a trophy, but it doesn't really bring anything.
It may not bring anything now, but it may bring something at the beginning of next season in February when we have to play CCC. Coming off the back of winning against a very good, by the way, Toluca's no slouch.
No, for sure. So for sure.
It's going to take a lot for this team to beat.
That preview on Monday is going to be fire. They're a great team.
Yeah, it could be even more fire, but we can't announce anything yet. But hopefully, it'll be more fire for you guys. So stay tuned for that.
Jeez.
Hopefully, we'll get a very special guest coming on Monday to talk a little bit about that final. But no, man, you know what? At this point, like, and maybe I'm just taking the positive spin of it. I did a show last night, Soccer at Sisti. By the way, shout out Gunner.
Shout out to all those cats
and Scarf and those guys. But you know, I don't know. Maybe it's like that show kind of reoriented my thinking around that. Like, you know, even the national or even people that are outside the Galaxy. I mean, the fans need something to be proud of, and this is the last opportunity for the Galaxy team to show the fans something, to give them something to be proud of.
Sure,
this would be it. This would be it. It's not
again pride.
It's not
again pride.
It's not as low as a Community Shield, and I mean, it's not a Europa League, but it's not like a Community Shield where it's preseason and it doesn't mean anything. I mean, yes, it might be fabricated, however cynically or whatever you want to look at it. But look, a trophy is a trophy. We're going to beat a good opposition. If we do win the trophy, it's something I think we're not beating any slouches, right? So they're a good team. So
again, if they win it, like, and they have the ability to win, like no, let's not get it twisted. Like, this Galaxy team has quality. Like, they could go in, and I know Toluca is the overwhelming favorite, but the Galaxy could go in and disrupt that. I firmly believe that. However, I still think if you were to ask even the players what's bigger, if they had to choose one, and not that they do, but like, you know, what weighs up more, a little bit more, like that berth in the Champions Cup, even though it was a third place win, or, you know, the Campeones Cup, which again doesn't really bring anything but pride. I mean, I'm pretty sure the players, and they said this a couple of different times, were like, you know, our goal is to get into the Champions Cup. That's what we're going for, and they achieved it. So kudos to them. Hopefully they and don't miss this preview on Monday. Hopefully they achieve it against Toluca as well. But we kind of got sidetracked there. But there'll be more of that on Monday if you want to hear some more shenanigans. But anyway, let's get back on track. We have a bunch to talk about today. And Cuneros, thank you for bearing with us when we get sidetracked. And you know,
it's good debate. It's good banter. I mean, clearly we're on opposite sides of it. So, you know, it's this is what the people want to hear, man. This is talk radio. Come on, this is a podcast.
Yeah,
we're allowed to disagree. We're allowed to agree to disagree.
I feel you. I'm just saying, there's going to be more of that on Monday.
Yeah, and let's say that for Monday.
And so anyway, yes, Cuneros, thank you for putting up with us, bickering. Like Ananda said, it's part of the pod. So anyway, we'll keep on going. But anyway, since I've mentioned you, we do want to say thank you for always being here with us and listening. You're part of the almost 700 subscribers that have joined us along this wonderful journey that we call La Cuna Galaxiana, and every single one of you has made it really, really fun. Man, we really enjoy being here with you guys live. Like, we occasionally do pre-recorded episodes, and you know, we have some really good guests and interviews and stuff like that, but still there's always something missing, and it's you guys when we aren't here with you guys live. So again, we want to say thank you. Keep on telling your friends, family about it. Subscribe, hit that like button, go ahead and comment, let us know what you know we are doing well. Let us know what we can improve on as well. You know, we want to always make this pod as good for you as we can. So shout out to anybody that's watching on X and Instagram. Go ahead at some point, go ahead and head on over to YouTube and hit the subscribe. We would love for you to do that. If you do, Ananda's going to take a shot with you. I will hold him to that. So anyway, I think that's it, Ananda. I mean, you got to do your housekeeping and then right into announcements, right, Papa?
Yeah. I think you pretty much covered everything. Just don't forget, guys, on your way in, on your way out, hit the like buttons. It'll help the algorithm. It'll help spread that Cunero love out there to the YouTube ether and have them become Cuneros too. So there you go. Listen to some LA Galaxy talk, all that stuff. Got to play the algo game these days. So smash those likes, guys. It'll really, really help us out. Rob talked about the subs. Did you talk about Super Chat? Did you talk about Super Chat?
Oh, you know what? I didn't. You know what? I'll let you handle that, man.
All right.
I'm giving you the dish. There we go. Alley-oop.
So if you guys, of course, man, I think we've said this a couple times, but just know that every dollar or everything that you donate to this pod, we put in back to the pod. We keep the light, it helps keeps the lights on. It helps for, all the software that we use, all the equipment that we use. I mean, we reinvest it and we try to make this show better. Hopefully the OGs out there, everyone's that been there from season 1, you've kind of seen how the show has progressed. We've kind of added
the OGs. We got something cooking for y'all. That's special. So
there you go. Tight. Yeah, that's right. See, we got a lot of things cooking in the pot. But there you go. So, again, just really, really appreciate your support. If you want to get a question out there, ask us almost anything, basically. Go ahead and put your super chat in. If not, it's all good. We just appreciate you guys being here and being with us and talking LA Galaxy soccer, especially this year. It's not been an easy year to talk about, right? So we appreciate all you guys being here. And of course, guys, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxiana. Vamos a los shoutouts and announcements, papá.
Let's get it. First and foremost, our primo, his supporter group, Comets, will be throwing their second annual white party. Go ahead and check this one out because it's going to have the 2000 throwback jams. And who doesn't like some 2000 throwback jams? I know I do. I know that I'm going to be getting down to that Ali over there. There's also a Comets t-shirt drop. If anything, stop by to see the new heat that's about to drop. The tailgate starts at 4. Of course, kickoff is at 7:30. Go ahead and hit up Comets on any of their socials for more information. And Scott, yeah, that's basically what it translates to. I mean, Cuna is cradle, so it's basically, it's a play on that, there's the La Cuna since birth, and so, yeah, I mean, so cradlers, I guess. I don't know if there's a direct English translation.
Scott,
sounds kind of creepy in English as well.
A little like backstory, like part of the creation of the name was like, people say, we always say desde la cuna, right? That's a kind of thing. It means like from birth, like you're an OG or you're a G since birth kind of thing. So cuna means crib technically, but of course, like if you're a supporter of something, it's like the EROS like conjugation or whatever that is. Like that's kind of a typical thing. So there you go. Cuneros, there's no really like technical translation. It's kind of like made up, but you know what? Who was it, Rob? Was it Marvin?
I believe it was Marvin. Yeah.
Let's give him credit to Marvin G. He was like,
shout out to Migos as well.
You guys should call your community the Cuneros, and there you go. It might have been Raul G too. So shout out to all you guys, man, for sure.
Yeah, no, for real though. So yeah, that's a little bit of family history as well here for the pod. But yeah, go ahead and check out that Comets White Party. It is going to be live, and there is a new Galaxy drop with Ryoko Rain merch. I don't know if am I saying this correctly, Ananda? Ryoko. Yes. I'm not cool enough to know brands. So this was like I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I don't know who Ryoko Rain is, but
there's you can watch a 5-minute video that the Galaxy just posted recently on the latest Our Galaxy. That is the episode on Ryoko Rain and the story behind their brand and this collection. Actually, fun fact, Ryoko and Rain is the middle names of the 2 daughters of the owner of this company. So there you go.
Thank you, Ananda, for hooking us up with those facts.
I'm learning from the best. I'm learning from the best investigative journalists out there. So
Oh, so you mean Damien Calhoun and Josh Guessman?
And Josh Guessman, correct.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. There you go. All right. So anyway, guys, this is available now in the team store. If you want to go ahead and get some LA Galaxy and Ryoko Rain merch, that's where you need to go. I saw the collection. There's like 1 or 2 things that I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. I don't know if I am brave enough to rock the denim tuxedo like JT right there.
Hey, that purple tee has your name all over it though, Papa.
Oh no, the purple tee is fire.
The vintage purple, yeah.
Yeah, that is really nice.
Got a Lakers vibe to it too. Just saying.
Yeah, but some people are out there going to be like, that isn't really gold, that's peach or something like that. It's like, I mean, shout out to all the homies out there. Anyway, so things to know for this SKC match. There is a pregame live DJ set by DJ Craze, so go ahead and get there early for that to go ahead and get a little movement in and dance a bit. And there are player signed jerseys that are being auctioned off by the LA Galaxy Foundation, and that'll be happening at the 75th minute of the match. Again, player signed. These are going to be great to have. Imagine picking up a Ricky Pooch signed jersey, man. That would be super nice. There's also going to be a German Heritage Night ticket pack. And along with that, since it is German Heritage Night, it's Oktoberfest. Marco Reus bobbleheads are going to be given away. There's going to be 5,000 of them. We've talked on this pod already a couple of times about, and I get pained when I talk about this because it's like, and everybody remembers the ring debacle at the beginning of the year, like the Galaxy were like, hey, we learned and stuff like that. And they did, like they've, to their credit, they've run these giveaways much better. However, I mean, 5K? Ananda, what you got to say about this, man?
Well, I'll tell you what someone said to me last night when I was on the show. And one of the other co-hosts was like, and I'm just gonna say it flat out because it was kind of like one of those reality check moments because we were talking about a little bit about kind of what's going on with the Galaxy organization and the fan base, etc. Right? And he just basically said, "Wait, 5,000 bobbleheads? Only 5,000? No wonder there's a lack of trust and appreciation between the fan base and the organization. Like, why not? Like, okay, I don't know the economics behind it, Rob, but why not appreciate the fans, like everyone that goes to the game and cheers on the crowd?
It'd be a very nice gesture.
It would be a very nice gesture. And again, take cues from even our friends down the I-5, Rob. This is just the recent post, a free hat to everyone that is visiting San Diego FC and that Snapdragon Stadium this weekend. It says our friends are giving every fan an SDFC fan hat. All I'm gonna say is maybe we should take some cues. I don't know. Am I harsh? I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I don't know the economics around sourcing. How many people does Snapdragon hold? Like 21 or 22,000 versus the Digs, which holds like 30. So I don't know what the economics are like 22,000 hats versus.
I don't either, but I mean
30,000 bobbleheads. But you would think that they're like, okay, like since the bobblehead's going to be too much, maybe like we'll do something else. I don't know. Like I remember at one point, and when I was just a wee lad and going to what was then called the StubHub, like you'd walk in and every single seat would have like a t-shirt or whatever, and those I miss those days. And again, it would be a nice gesture for a really long season, really difficult season for the fans. And but you know what? Again, I don't know what the economics are. So, and it's not my plata. No es mi plata, güey. So no puedo opinar, right?
It's not, but given where the situation is right now between the organization and the fans, I think all we're trying to propose is that it would be a very nice gesture, and it would be what's the term, Rob? An olive branch, right? It would be something to regain a little bit of that trust. Just something. I mean, it might not be, look, if you look at it on the balance sheet, it might not be economically feasible or doesn't make any sense, but in the grand scheme of things, sometimes you just can't look at business decisions only on the numbers. You have to look at the temperature in the room, right? And
sure,
that's all we're proposing. Yeah.
Okay, look, but you're saying an olive branch, and you're living under the assumption that whoever are the powers that be at the organization, are living with are living in a world in which they think that they have to apologize for something. So
that's a fair point.
So you're making an assumption that they feel like they did something wrong, and as we don't know that, but I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm just saying, like, I see that on my end, again, I would like for them to go ahead and give them to everybody. But again, I don't know what the economics are. I don't know, if they feel like they need to do stuff like this, or they're like, hey, you know what, 5K is good enough, and or it's like, hey, like man, you've worked in marketing. It's like, hey, let's make the exclusivity. Let's create the demand, And then afterwards, we see the demand because people start selling these things for like $200 or $300 on eBay, Mercari, and stuff like that, So,
well, it's kind of like the equivalent of the refund game, right? The mythical, the all, the what's the word I'm looking for? But just like that gesture, right? It's really less about the business behind it, but it's about the gesture, and that's all we're saying.
I agree, but you don't even know if they feel like they got to make a gesture. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm just putting myself in a situation where I'm like, well, what
fair.
What
this is a fair debate to have.
What would a huge corporation that includes the galaxy, be thinking? And first off, corporations aren't people, so who knows? But
other teams are seeming to make it happen. So there you go. Like that's let's maybe we should move on this topic. I think we could debate this forever. It's a good debate, by the way, because it's like
the Bears were who we thought they were.
There are two sides to this, right? There's a legitimate, I think, point on each side. But I'm sure the fans though would definitely appreciate everyone getting a Marcus Head Bobblehead or Bobblehead.
No. I'm sure at some point, like, and guys, if you've missed it in the back catalog, we have had Uriel on before, and he's been nice enough to give us some time, and he's answered questions like this, around like different marketing initiatives and stuff like that. So maybe we'll have him on again.
Yeah,
and
good idea.
Maybe he can answer some of these questions, like why 5K when you guys could potentially as a big corporation do all 25 or 30K, like who knows? Maybe it's an issue of sourcing. Like maybe there's just not 30,000 Marco Reus bobbleheads in the world. Who knows? Like or it just, I don't know. I'm just speculating now, but we can, like you said, we can go on this all day. We won't, but that's just the kind of nonsense you'll hear on this pod. So anyway, moving right along. What do you want to get down on next?
We could go on this all day.
Oh, hell yeah, we can. Oh, I love my little furry friends, man.
You love your furry friends, exactly.
Oh man, these are wonderful. First off, like it took me, admittedly, they've only been out a day, but they took me a couple minutes to warm up to. Like on first glance, I was like, I didn't really like them. Like I'm still not a huge fan of this animation style, but if you guys missed it, FIFA announced the official mascots for the 2026 World Cup. There are 3 mascots, obviously, since there are 3 host nations. The USA is represented by Clutch, the bald eagle. His personality is wide, optimistic, adventurous, and playful. And he's a midfielder. He sports the number 10. And it says that he has an unquenchable thirst for adventure, soaring across America, fearless on the field and uplifting off of it, a social spark and a sports fanatic. Clutch is an all-time great midfielder. Look at that. Look at Clutchy go. I like his boots, man. So then we have my personal favorite, and me and baby girl, the Minister of Finance here in the Jolan household, we're talking about our favorites here, and we decided that Maple the Moose was our favorite. Maple, of course, is a goalkeeper like wifey's favorite, Benji Price. So this is yes, anybody that knows me knows that I love my Raquinhos and my puppy dogs, and Maple, you are a new favorite. Look for me to be sporting some Maple gear at some point for damn sure. Maple is a great style. Maple has great style, rather. Artistic spirit, is a leader and a protector. Pretty in line with the goalkeeper. And it says Maple the Moose was born to roam, journeying across all of Canada's provinces. A street-style loving artist with legendary saves and a heart full of strength and leadership. And the one and only says she had a lamb named Maple. That's precious. If you got a picture of Maple, we will run that for dang sure. KGF. Stick with us. We will get there. We will talk about that here in a moment. So I'm glad you brought it up. We are going to end here with the mascots, with Mexico's mascot, Zayu, the Jaguar, a striker, un delantero feroz, apasionado, dedicado, social y amigable, el alma de la fiesta. The soul of the party is Zayu, number 9. And off the pitch, embraces Mexican culture. More than an athlete, Zayu is a symbol of cultural celebration and connection. Man, again, I love these. You guys will definitely see me sporting these. Part of me is like, man, don't fall for the commercialism trap, but these are just too damn cute.
Mascots are always a great like little marketing thing, especially for the kids, right? There's gonna be a lot of kids watching this tournament, being with their families, etc. So this is fun.
Yeah, no, I definitely dig it. And we have a picture actually of Ananda's. What was that? XP says my personal favorite World Cup mascot was Ciao from Italy '90. Oh, and I actually don't remember that one, so somebody's gonna have to drop me that picture at some point. But I do have a picture of Ananda sporting the mascot for 2022, Laib, and this was El Compa there in Qatar for this World Cup. Man, I remember you got back and you were geeked from being there, man. So I can't wait for this tournament to kick off in these shores.
This was my favorite, and it's weird because you wouldn't think of it, but like, just think about this for a second, Rob. This is the conversation I was having with my wife today, which is kind of interesting. Like, they took an article of clothing, they took something that was so typical for the region, and seeing that article of clothing in certain regions and certain geographies, it might strike up. Remember all the conversation around this World Cup about like, maybe, stuff around women, the religion, etc. Some people might take offense to that and may not have a positive emotional reaction, let's say. But they took something that's so native and that might be quote unquote controversial or might strike an emotional reaction, and they turn it into this mascot. And to me, that's brilliant marketing.
Yeah,
like to turn something that could be controversial and not universally accepted to something that was so cute, man.
Oh, look, we got a couple good comments here from chat. Joe 13 Cool says a mascot you can wear. Very good. I agree.
Like my headdress.
And comment 96 says first says AK Sutton on him, and I want to see that at the white party.
Hey, that's a great idea. That's fair.
We have some other entries into the mascot conversation. 1966 World Cup mascot, World Cup Willie. I don't know. I've never heard of World Cup Willie. Is that Steamboat Willie's cousin? I don't know. But send me all these. I need to see pictures of these mascots. Don't forget the 2024 Olympics mascot was a traditional French hat. Yeah, it was a beret for damn sure. Who doesn't love some wonderful mascots? But anyway, we did promise that we were going to be talking about this MLS MVP and Golden Boot and all these other prizes here and MLS, just towards the tail end of the season here. And so we want to honor that promise and go ahead and get to that. There's a lot of good players right now that are going neck and neck. I mean, obviously I'm gonna take heat in a moment, but you have Leo Messi up there, you have Dreyer up there as well. I mean, we saw Evander the other day in the flesh, and he looks damn good. I mean, he's got to be in the conversation. And then again, you guys are gonna crucify me for this one, but Denny Bionga is going off right now, and he's scoring for fun. The arrival of Sun has really opened up his game. So, I mean, there's a lot of people who can go ahead and take this at the moment. I mean, just breaking down the numbers here, and shout out to MLS Moves here for providing this graphic. Messi's on 22 and 12. I mean, okay, look, people are going to be like, okay, but what metric do you gauge this MVP, right? So, like,
yeah, Rob, if you're on the committee, what's your decision making process?
Well, there's got to be a couple of things that you look at, right? You got to look at the just the data, just the facts, right? Which is, again, Leo Messi leads with 22 and 12. Denny Bouanga's there with 22 and 8. Dryers is there with 15 and 18, and Evander's there with 17 and 13. And it's any one of these players could go ahead and win it if you were just looking at the metric of production, because they've all produced. But then you got to look at how vital they are to their team. We've seen what Inter Miami looks like when Leo Messi isn't there. They struggle, right? We've seen what LAFC looks like when Denny Bouanga isn't there. Similarly, they struggle. I mean, and the same and so forth with Evander. And I think really the only one that still kind of like holds up and can play is is San Diego. I mean, yes, they look a little less dangerous, but they have played a game or two without Dreyer, and they've looked decent. So, I mean, you got to look at that metric. So that and that one's a big one for me. Can this team survive without them? I mean, if you take off that Leo Messi from Inter Miami, then yeah, you're looking at a totally different team. Similarly with Denis Bouanga and Evander. Again, Dreyer does change the situation for San Diego a little bit, but not too much. I think they could still find a way to win. So I think that's my biggest metric right there. How much they matter to their team. Like if you were to take them away in a hypothetical under those conditions, man, I think it might have to be Leo Messi, man.
Yeah, Soccer Home really quick too. This is like he just played last night. So yeah, so 24 goals, 13 assists. I mean, point still stands, right? I mean, I think production wise, he's probably in the lead. That puts him at 37 goal contributions, and he's played 2 less games than almost everyone else. Remember, Inter Miami's on 29 points. Look, I think the popular consensus, Rob, is he's probably going to win back-to-back MLS MVPs, right? I think that's a popular consensus. But let me make this isn't like a contrarian for contrarian's sake, but I'm going to put a little weight too on the fact that San Diego FC is an expansion team. Like, it's crazy to me, like the success of them this year, like to get everything right and to have a player like Anders Dreyer on a expansion team and to see where they are. Remember, Rob, they are first in the Western Conference, granted 57 points, so 3 behind Philadelphia, a point behind Cincinnati there, and just 2 points above Inter Miami. But just what he's done, I mean, granted, he does have Chucky Lozano next to him, but to me, Anders Dreyer is clearly the best player on San Diego, and he's a special talent, man. So I think he's I think he's a very, very close second for me, but popular consensus is probably Messi.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to argue against the production, the star appeal, and also, again, what he means to his team. But, you know, my second choice would probably have to be Evander. We saw him on the flesh this weekend. The guy's dangerous. The guy's a good player, just special. And so if I had to pick a non-Messi player, it'd probably have to be Evander.
Yeah, and what Soccer Home said, he says it might be just given to the person that belongs to the team that wins Supporter Shield. Could be. It's that close, right? And Messi for the Pichichi, probably.
I don't
the MLS Pichichi, the Golden Boot.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. It's neck and neck here. Wait,
yeah,
how many does Surridge have actually?
Surridge has 21, but here's the thing: Nashville and LAFC have both played 31 games. Sorry, LAFC's played 29 games. Bouanga's on 22. Leo Messi's on 24, and he's played 29 games. So it's between those two guys.
I don't know. Surridge is still right there, man.
At
least for the Golden Boot.
He's played 2 more games though. That's the only thing. So
yeah,
just my math.
But they don't look at that at the end of the year. They just look at who has the most goals. They don't go, oh, you know, he had
no. I know, but I just think that the math is gonna, because Denis Bouanga and Messi have 5 more times to score a hat trick versus Surridge, who only has 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true enough. And again, I mean, right now both those players are super hot. I mean, Denis Bouanga has 2 hat tricks in the last 3 games and like 3 assists and stuff like that. This guy's going off. It's
not a very good RSL team, but I get it. Yep.
I mean, the Galaxy has played the same not very good RSL team, but
we're not a very good team. So there you go. We're clearly not a very good team. So there's that.
All right. Well, I mean, there are still a couple of other big prizes here to give away, but you know, we will go ahead and cover these in the subsequent podcasts. So go ahead and stick around and check with us on Monday for more of these MLS, like who is the comeback player of the season? Who is your midfielder of the season? Who knows? We'll get to it. We'll talk about it. But now everybody knows that I like a little bit of pettiness, a little bit of cheesemate, and boy, did we get some cheesemate.
That's why I had to throw this one in the agenda.
Oh, you know me too well. You're like, oh, this is definitely like prime shit for Rob, and it really is. Because I read it and I was like, oh, what word? And definitely piqued my interest. So since we were just talking about Inter Miami a little bit, they have their fair amount of haters. I feel like we here, at least on this podcast, try to keep it on the level, call it as it is. When they've messed up, we call it out. A la Suarez going off against Seattle, and when people blow things out of proportion, we also call that out too. But you know what? This one was kind of crazy. The homeboy Mateus Klisch, who former Atlanta player and former DC United, he says no recomiendo Miami mientras Messi esté ahí. Es un desastre. La gente se va, los entrenadores y los fisioterapistas se van. Organizativamente es pésimo. El padre de Messi prácticamente dirige el club. Translation. I don't recommend Miami while Messi is there. It's a disaster. The people leave. The trainers and the therapists, they leave. Organizationally, it's the worst. Messi's father practically runs the club. Damn. Explosive stuff. I mean, first, I would have a little bit more weight to it for me if he had actually played there Inter Miami. I guess, all the players talk and, they talk about, what's going on and stuff like that. So, it could be that this is absolutely right and spot on, but we'll not know, I guess. I mean, these things are held really, really close to the chest. And unless you're like right there as a player in Inter Miami, or like working for the club, or like covering this club like intimately day in and day out, well, I mean, you'll probably not know. But I mean, this is not the first time that this accusation has been leveled in basically Inter Miami's way, that it's become basically an extension of the Argentine national team. There have been criticisms that if you aren't Argentinian, that you basically will be gotten rid of at some point. So Mateus Klisch is not the first one to comment on these things. But what do you think, Ananda? Is this popping off to try to get some headlines on Messi's name, or do you think there's some truth to this? I mean, like I said, players talk. Do you think it could be true?
Well, I think if you're saying that it's not just him, but it's more than a few people or groups talking about this, I mean, just like eSuper said, when there's smoke, could there be fire? I mean, there could be, right? Now, I do want to caveat a couple things. Like, one is I do want to read, because I'm not a fan of headline reading. Like, I want to kind of read the whole quote and find that whole report and find the whole interview and what context was it said in. But look, man, like, all I'm gonna say is every organization, every star player, every, I guess, sort of group of people have their own way and their own sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Like just their own way of doing things. And clearly, like, that's why it's called Messi and Friends, right? Like, it's clearly like him getting back together with his Barca boys, and it's kind of always been like that, even when he was in Barca. But I think you make a really good point, which is I think this would hold more weight if Mateus Klisch was actually in that organization. So in a sense, he is speaking a little bit out of turn. Like, I think what he's saying is pure speculation. I could be wrong about that.
I mean, he definitely hating. I mean, he definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right? Yeah. So like, I don't think that's something that you can hide. But then again, like, maybe he knows something and that there is some truth to that, right? Or maybe he's just purely speculating from the outside looking in, and maybe that's not 100% fair assessment either. But like you said, like, if there are other people or other groups saying the same thing, again, we don't know what's reality. Like, it could be just perception, right? What are you laughing at now? What?
Shout out to Soccer Home. First time I've actually seen you in chat. So
hey, shout out, man. Welcome.
Thank you for being here with us. If it is actually your first time, we appreciate. But you're saying Soccer Home says Klisch is a CR7 fan. That's hilarious. I mean, it could be. I mean, like I said, I mean, for me, it doesn't hold a lot of weight just because he's never been in an organization. And there's definitely a great amount of salt that this cat's thrown around. But we don't know if this is true or not. Could be, could not be. We won't know probably until Messi actually leaves this organization and we get one of those tell-all books, and then the Messi years or something like that, like we got about Beckham.
Yeah,
I mean, the homie Grant Wall wrote. Shout out, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, man. I'll say this though, there's not the best role models in that team. aka Luisito, right? Like you could probably pick some better role models. I'll say that
Truth,
much.
truth.
Bro,
but
come on.
but I just
Seattle,
mentioned,
that's
but I just
despicable.
mentioned Beckham, right? But I just mentioned Beckham, and Beckham is a gentleman, man. Like at least while he's been in that organization, you know, for the most part, he's
Beckham
carried
for
himself
sure.
with class
But
and stuff like that.
but
So
Luisito,
they do have
Sergio,
good role models. You just got to pay attention to the right ones.
That's the problem. But there's still some bad eggs in there, right? So it's like I'm telling you, man. That's when we talked about that with that post Seattle brawl, like with Ari, like that's like I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like I didn't expect it from
that
Busquets.
one got wild, Bubba.
Well, I didn't expect it from Busquets. I'd never seen that from him, right? Luisito, we've seen it before. Let's call a spade a spade.
Busquets was going at it, bro. Busquets said he was a boxer real. Look, Busquets said he was Mosca real quick.
But
it was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot there, and again, we'll never know unless one of us gets to sit down one day with Messi and was like, hey, tell us what's up. You know, Messi, you are invited to come to this podcast. We will roll out the red carpet for you. I mean, we'll give you a flat 30 minutes. 31 is unfortunately undoable because we have to do announcements and also consult betting odds with Dr. Raquinho. So
all Spanish.
Yeah, exactly. And then he'll tell us get me Rabobo.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know we've had other people in the Galaxy organization that no names, but you know, that left for greener pastures, and they said that they didn't speak English where they could perfectly speak English. So less said about that, the better. And we'll go on to the next topic.
Did you hear that homie got his contract cut by Adelaide?
Saw that. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're gonna go have to face the music. All right, but we did talk about former Galaxy players. Let's talk about a good former Galaxy player that we all still really enjoy. Congrats to former LA Galaxy forward and guest of the show, Preston Judd, for getting a contract extension with San Jose Earthquakes. This one was broken, of course, by Tommy Boger, as usual. Says the Earthquakes have signed forward Preston Judd to a contract extension. Judd, 26, having his best MLS season with 7 goals, 2 assists, and 976 minutes this year. Underlying numbers really strong too. So Ananda, when they dealt Judd, the Galaxy received 100K in GAM in 2024, 100K in GAM in 2025, and up to an additional 50K in performance incentives. You got to think with the kind of season that he's had, that he probably hit those incentives. After seeing, you know, the struggles with Galaxy forwards this year, do you think it was a mistake to let young Preston Judd go? Shout out, come back to the pod. Thank you.
I think at the time, no, but I think in hindsight, yes, right? Because we didn't expect Christian Ramirez to be so poor. So again, it's kind of like one of those conversations where hindsight is always 2020. I think at the time, though, is probably a necessity. I don't know if it was player led or whether it was team led for his exit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it was Judd that was pushing for the move because he wanted more playing time, and fair play to him. He got his playing time and he's been performing, and he got rewarded with the contract extension. So again, Rob, these are these footballing conversations that are just difficult to have because, again, we always look at things in hindsight, right? And hindsight's always perfect. Like, it's undefeated, just like the internet. So yeah, man, but I think overall, I would love to have Preston Judd on right now, but again, it's because we haven't replaced that backup striker position, and actually even that striker position. I know Nasi's doing his best, but we'll see if he comes back next year. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna answer that question, man.
Yeah, we absolutely don't know what's going to happen with Nasi Mittelstadt, and you're right, we haven't replaced that position. Hopefully next year, 2026, where things might be looking up.
But it's good to see him doing well, and congrats to the contract extension, man. So he's a good guy. He's a good guy. So
we had a great time with him, and he was, again, just a great guy to talk to, and we look forward to doing it again at some point. And he got some of those chops in the academy, Ananda, when he was playing for Galaxy 2, which is now VCFC. Let's take a quick look at VCFC before we go ahead and get on to this game preview. Thank you guys for sticking with us. I know we've gone on a bunch of damn tangents tonight, but hopefully it's been kind of enjoyable for you at some point. So standings here for VCFC. They're still in a tight race to make the playoffs. They're sitting on 38 points in 8th place. That's a final playoff spot. They are battling here to make the playoffs. Their next match is against the is against Sporting's second team, Sporting Kansas City 2. That'll happen at 10 a. I'm sorry, that's 10 a.m. I believe on September 28th. That's going down at the Willie Roll, and then their last home game is Sunday, October 5th at 1 p.m. versus Colorado Rapids 2. We do have a super chat. Thank you to the homie XPH. You are listening to Lacuna Galaxiana with your host, Robin Ananda. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Let's thank them for the work they put in twice a week. Keep it up, LCD crew. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
Big love, Baba.
Yeah, that's a very well written ad spot.
Ad lib. I know.
I do appreciate it.
Man, we need to hire XPH to do our future ad libs, I guess.
You kidding me? We can't afford that, man. Schnaff. That's too much. That's too much sauce, too much talent, man. Speaking of too much sauce and too much talent, the LA Galaxy organization lost a lot of talent here recently. They did put out an announcement that they had let go of, or some people had left the organization. So Josh was, I believe, the first one to break this news. Shout out Corner of the Galaxy. He said, Corner of the Galaxy can confirm that Chief Brand and Creative Officer Will Misbrook is no longer with the club. The Galaxy gave him the statement on the departures as part of our ongoing efforts to position the organization for future success. We made adjustments to our front office structure. These changes included the elimination of small number of positions, as well as promotions that strengthen our leadership team. We are grateful to all employees for their contributions and remain focused on achieving our long-term goals. Josh also says he should point out that the Galaxy are hiring for a chief media officer that will replace Will Misselbrook's chief brand and creative officer. And before we go any further, I do want to say, normally we wouldn't be talking about like people's personal lives and like losing jobs or like moving on from jobs and stuff like that. That's more akin to your personal life and stuff like that. We wouldn't really be talking about it. However, this has been in public discourse and on socials and stuff like that, and they themselves have commented this on this or made these announcements. So I feel like we're in the okay, not being nosy Nellies here. But Will Misselbrook did respond to a Galaxy post about this, I believe, Ananda. This is on the next slide here. He responding to Galaxy Empire 96. He says, I chose to step away to a new adventure that supports innovation with how a team engages and entertains fans and community. Loved every minute with the club and feel fortunate to have been part of it. For the past 3 years, I worked hard to try and modernize the club's brand, digitally and physically, to make it relevant again and help rebuild Galaxy's iconic identity, which I felt had been slightly missing before I joined. I just really hope I did you all proud. So thankful for the support of our fans, players, and the Galaxy org, and for the opportunity to reignite the most storied club in MLS. Hopefully I helped even a little to restore it. At least I think one of the most creative and culturally relevant brands in the league. Much love to all our G's. I met him a couple times. Very, very nice guy. Didn't really have the pleasure of getting to know him too well. But much luck to him. Once a G, always a G. There were a couple more departures that hit a little bit closer to home. The homie Juan Niera, he was always just such a positive light in the press box, man. Just part of the Galaxy's creative and brand team. I believe working under Will Misselbrook, and I believe he had been with the Galaxy for about 9 years. And again, ever since I had been covering the team, just a great person to have around, always positive, even in the toughest moments. So definitely going to miss Juan. He has promised that he will come and join us on this podcast at one point. So if you know him, if you see him, hold him to that. Be like, hey, man, when are you going to be on Lacuna? I heard you're going to be on Lacuna. Hold them to that. So shout out to him. And, I would see him at games and stuff like that. But again, I was, never really like it, talking as much with Juan, as much as this next man, Kevin Acevedo, who is no longer with the club. He was the Galaxy's chief communications officer, I believe was his official title, and he says on his socials, in typical fashion, Galaxy Podcast and Damien Calhoun broke some news before the official announcement. Got to give them credit. They're the best on the Galaxy beat. I agree. After 4.5 seasons with the Galaxy, I'm now officially a free agent. Man, I out of these three gentlemen, I mean, the one I spoke most to or had the most interactions with was Kevin Acevedo. Hey, man, thank you so much for always being there to facilitate interviews and stuff like that. Good luck
Yeah.
to you in all your next adventures. And I do got to say, I do follow Kevin on the socials, and the guy is always running, and I want to run like Kevin, man. I want to go ahead and get back into Kevin running shape, man. So anyway, shout out to him. Definitely won a chip. Was with the Galaxy when they won the chip. So
There you go.
Went out a champion. All these cats went out champions. So once a G, always a G. Ananda, the Galaxy lose these guys, right? Kevin had been with the organization 5 years, Juan for 9, Will for 3. Does this say anything to you at all, or maybe about the direction the Galaxy is heading? What does the statement say to you? Or maybe we're just reading too much into it. Maybe it's just like, hey, we're just kind of trying to keep it fresh, or maybe people are leaving to do other things.
Yeah, I think it could be a combination of anything. I would say I'd probably be speaking out of turn if I started speculating, but I've been lucky enough to work in a big organization, to work in a Fortune 500 brand. And sometimes, new leaders step in and organizational directions change. They find out more efficiencies or maybe better or more creative ways to do what they need to do on the business side, but also to serve the customer. And that would be, the fans and everyone associated with the LA Galaxy, right? Not only fans, shareholders, stakeholders, etc. And sometimes these things have to happen, and hopefully you can coincide that with finding greener pastures for some of these individuals, because they have done some really good work with the LA Galaxy. I mean, you talked about Kevin,
definitely.
right? Like, I wanted to say thank you to Kevin as well. Just, starting to get me involved in sort of part of the Galaxy media, I guess, space this season. So, shout out to him and everyone.
Gave you your first accreditation, right?
Yeah, on the PR and comms team. So,
Shout out, Kevin.
so Rob, I'm not going to read too much into it. I think it's just the nature of organizations and how they run, and hopefully this will be for the better and nothing gets lost in the wind. And hopefully, this gives a chance. You talked about, I think there was a statement in there about promotions. Hopefully this provides an opportunity now for new people to take the helm and do a great job for the organization. So there you go.
Yeah, man. Good luck to everybody. And hopefully we'll see you guys around. Don't be strangers now. And definitely invitations to all three of you to come on this podcast if you so choose. Guys, there was a bit of news that dropped today that maybe kind of flew under the radar, but it impacts the Galaxy very heavily. The Champions Cup announcement was made today. That tournament draw takes place on December 9th at 7 Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. That competition kicks off in early February and concludes with the final on Saturday, May 30th, 2026. 9 out of 27 teams have already secured a berth to this year's edition. It's the same format as last year, actually, which is the direct elimination knockout stage, and it's 5 rounds: round 1, round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, and of course your one-off final. The first 4 stages include a home and away leg, and then, like I just mentioned, there's a grand finale where you just got to win one. Of the 27 clubs that will participate, 22 begin play in round 1, and 5 receive a bye to the round of 16. Since the Galaxy does not have a bye, that means potentially the Galaxy season could start as soon as the tournament's first week, during the February 3rd to 5th time frame. And if it doesn't start then it would start in the next time frame, which would be February 17th to February 19th window. So you can count on, at the very least, the Galaxy's first competitive game of the year next year being on February 17th, 18th, or 19th in 2026 in the Champions Cup. Now, Ananda and I freaked out a little bit because there's a lot of things that this announcement kind of throws into the works. Now, before we get into that, Greg said this means that the group, obviously, since they have to look forward to this, and obviously they're not making the playoffs, will probably stay together a little bit longer this year after the last game of the year. So the stretch between the off-season period isn't as long. And he said that one of the things that they're working really hard to do already is bring in their targets early. He doesn't want to have players show up to camp late and not have time to acclimate. And he also challenged the players in today's presser to kind of look after themselves and work for themselves in the offseason and to stay sharp and to be ready, because they are, by all intents and purposes, from what he says, approaching this as if they have to play that first weekend or that first period of February 3rd to February 5th. So they're approaching this as if, yes, they might potentially be playing their first game of the year on February 3rd. Now, again, Ananda and I were very concerned about one thing, and that is the CVI. Since Tom Braun formally announced the CVI on Corner of the Galaxy, of course, what does this mean for that preseason event's future, right? I mean, that's normally held at the beginning of February, a couple weekends in a row. And I mean, will the Galaxy maybe like play their match and then play a weekend game at the CVI? I mean, who knows? I mean, that's kind of dangerous in and of itself, right? I mean, what do you think, Ananda? I mean, am I crazy in thinking about the CVI when the Champions Cup is the first round is the potential roadblock?
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. I think we're gonna have to wait and see what the draw looks like, and then the Galaxy are gonna have to make a decision, right? But look, if our game is during week 1, I mean, Galaxy have got to pull. I mean, they've got to play that tournament, right? And that's basically their preseason. So then the question is, like, for Greg and the team, like, how do they prepare before that? Like, how do they get some closed door or preseason games, if you will, in January, right? Because there's been no dates yet for CVI, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope,
but from what I remember, Rob, last year, game 1, match day 1 of CVI was Wednesday, February 5th. So that's there or thereabouts what you're looking at on the screen there in the key dates, right? So I think, look, no decisions are going to be made until December 9th. And then once the draw is set, we'll go from there. And I think that's just going to have to be the way it is.
Wouldn't it be crazy if they played an MLS team in the first round and they played it at the CVI tournament? One could dream, right? It would never happen, but just fanciful thinking out loud. But anyway, yeah, no, this is a huge potential hiccup for the Galaxy's schedule and their preparation. Last year, of course, they had the bye to the round of 16, which meant they started this tournament much later. This year, they will just have been in training camp, I believe, if last year's schedule is going to be followed at like this year. But of course, last year they won a title, they played much longer, so who knows what the timelines are going to be. Either way, the Galaxy have some arranging to their schedule to do. So anyway, watch this space. We'll go ahead and update you on anything and everything you need to know about the Champions Cup coming up and the CVI coming up as well. And since we're at it, and we're about to go into this game preview, I feel like right now is a good time to remind folks, Ananda, to go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you guys know when we have shows coming up for you and these good guests. We're working really hard on getting you somebody you like for Monday. So hopefully you guys stick around for that. And with that being said, Ananda, what do you think, man? Is it time to get into this bottom of the cellar preview here?
Yeah, right before that though, just want to address this really quick because I see you guys talking about it in chat. Is MLS changing the calendar next year? From all the reports that
has been that rumor.
Well, from all the reports that I've been reading though, from Garber himself, he said it's probably unlikely to happen till post World Cup. So not going to happen, I don't think, next year, but maybe something that they're looking into 27. I think Will Kuntz even. Oh no, he was talking about sort of the restrictions, salary cap restrictions on Corner of the Galaxy. Nothing really about calendar, but that's the latest reports that I saw. But I guess we'll just have to stay tuned, right?
Yes, stay tuned indeed. And now we get into this riveting matchup of 14th versus 15th place here.
Is this 2023 all over again? Remember,
man, they're making me relive all of that, and man, hopefully that just means that we'll relive 2024 next year. But before that, we got to get through this game. This marks the 83rd meeting across all competitions between the Galaxy and SKC. The Galaxy leads the all-time series 33-31-18 against SKC. They hold a 28, 27, and 18 record in league play, and they hold an 18-8-9 record at home at the Digs. Last time these two teams met, it was a 1-0 Sporting Kansas City win at home, and it was kind of a weird match, Ananda, because the last time they met in May, the Galaxy had upwards of 70% possession, only had one shot on goal, and SKC had 0. I believe you know this one as the game that ended 1-0 off the own goal by Mayo Yoshida.
Weirdest game I've ever watched.
Where SKC wins this one with no shots on goal. Yes, this actually happened. It happened this year, the weirdest year in Galaxy history. So yes, this was the game that the Galaxy lost by not giving up any shots on goal. Hopefully they can correct that. The Galaxy enter Saturday's match unbeaten in 3 of their last 4 games. And there's always goals in this one, Ananda. I mentioned it at the top of the show in the rundown there. And then there's not been a draw in the last 3 matches in this one. So look for, I'm pretty sure you'll go ahead and fact check me here on this one, but I'm expecting like 3 or 4 goals in this one. Usually are. These teams in the standings, like I said, 14th and 15th place. Of course, the Galaxy are in 15th place on 21 points. They have been now officially eliminated from the playoffs. They are 3 points back in the wooden spoon race with Montreal with 1 game in hand. They have not kept a clean sheet in 5 matches. And SKC, again, just battling the Galaxy for futility. Haven't kept a clean sheet in 17 matches. They are in 14th place. The reason they're doing a little bit better is because they've scored more goals. They hold a 7-18-6 record, 45 goals scored against the Galaxy's 37 goals scored. They have a negative 18 goal differential. However, they've also conceded a lot. They've also been officially eliminated from playoff contention. 3 straight losses here for SKC, a 2-0 loss to Vancouver, 2-1 to Real Salt Lake on the road, and a 2-1 loss at home to Austin. Only 1 win in the last 10. And this is like the utter miseries, man. This is gonna be a match right here. And especially, you have these players coming back from injury. We'll talk about it here right now. You obviously still have Ricky Puig, Nascimento, Sanabria out. But on this list, we did get kind of confirmation, Ananda, from Greg today that Emito was back training and he will be available. Marco Reus was back training and will be available. And I believe he said the same for Christian Ramirez. I could be wrong, though. I will double check on that one. But, of course, Isaiah Parente is suspended. And then Greg Vanney himself is suspended, Ananda. This man popped off and he got himself that 30 yellow card to get suspended. So Greg will not be on the touchline for this match. This will be the second time in his career that happens. And so instead, his assistant, Dan Kalichman, and former teammate, will be the Galaxy's head coach for the evening. He'll take the reins over from Greg, again, who will be only serving a 1-game suspension. Another, we always talk about that new coach bump. Does this qualify as a new coach bump, or is it going to be virtually like the same thing since Greg and Dan have been together for basically like 500 games? I think Alex had the official number. It was like 464 or something ridiculous like that. Just in their coaching career. So it will be just more of the same basically.
Yeah, come on, man. New coach bump. LOL. Come on. Maybe that's like wishful thinking on some Galaxy fans, like some corners of the Galaxy fans, right? But or the Galaxy faithful. But yeah, no, it's gonna be the same thing. Look, it's gonna be interesting to see. Like, I mean, Greg gets so passionate on the sideline, man. I was noticing that when we were at the Pups of the Pitch. I was just looking at that sideline every time I sit on that section too. It's like you always see Greg so animated. But you know what? Like, I don't mind that at all. It just shows that he cares, and he cares a lot, right? He's a very fiery guy. I think it takes a lot for him not to throw expletives in a press conference, right? So he's just that type of character. So no, it's going to be the same, man. No, we shouldn't read into that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, just by nature of them being together for so long, right? I mean, and Greg, something like, if you count all the games we played together too, then it's definitely over 500.
Hey, but if we win 5-0, hell yeah, it's a new coach bump. Shoot.
Yeah, if they win 5-0, like all of a sudden I look like a genius. Like, oh, who called the new coach? Who called
the new coach bump? Exactly.
Exactly. And that'll be the first and only time that I'll probably be a genius in my life. So enjoy it, y'all. SKC does have their own injury list, not as big as the Galaxy's. They have Andrew Brody, the youngster, right back, 12 matches and 6 games started this year. Joaquin Fernandez, the center back, 17 matches played, 16 starts. And of course, their biggest absence here, Daniel Chaloui. Did I say it right this time?
Chaloui, nice work.
Hell yeah. It only took me 3 years. Anyway, Daniel Chaloui, left winger, 30 matches and 22 games started. Yes, guys, this is the hard-hitting journalism that you guys always needed, with Gucci Mane interjections thrown in to the lineups. Anyway, Chaloui is going to be the big miss for Sporting Kansas City. They don't score a lot. We already know that. But we'll look at the man who is going to be tasked here in a moment with kind of picking up that slack. We did ask Greg about, what he's thinking of doing, because of course the Galaxy have that Campeones game coming up against Toluca, and Josh asked him if potentially he's looking to rotate, being that that's midweek on Wednesday, and he said that nah, not really. He says he's not looking to rotate ahead of the Campeones Cup, because he kind of feels like the Saturday to Wednesday will be enough time for any recovery and stuff like that. So look for a strong as can be lineup as well this weekend against SKC. And speaking of a strong as can be lineup, what are you seeing as that, Ananda?
Yeah, I mean, I just pulled up the starting 11s for their both respective teams for their last matches. Look, maybe something similar. I was trying to go back here to see what the injury report was. So no movement on any of these guys on the screen, right, Rob? Everyone
No. Amito's available.
Back, you said.
Marco's available.
Okay, so if those guys are available, then
and I believe Ramirez is available as well.
If those guys are available, Ramirez is probably going to come off the bench. And I don't know, maybe he might start at the number 9. But look, if Reus is there, I would start him at number 9. At false 9, like I said, we're really good with Marco in that false 9 position.
Yep.
Maybe it protects him a little bit too from not having to track back so much. Look, for these guys that are coming back, you want to give them at least 60, 70, right? To get him fit and to match sharpness for that game against Toluca. That's not going to be an easy game. Toluca, Liga MX teams in general are usually very physical, very feisty. So that you're going to expect a physical game in that. So they need minutes. They need repetitions. Other than that, I mean, again, I think Amito is going to come in there for Rindolph because you want that Maya-Amito partnership back in there.
Truth.
Of course, Parente is going to be swapped out. I guess who are options there? It'd be Cerrillo. I would put Fagundes back in there. And what do you think, Papa?
And I believe it'd be Winder, right? I mean, we
That's
did
what
find
I think.
out.
Yeah,
we did find out from Greg that he didn't take a knock or anything. He just had something personal to deal with. So he was not in the Galaxy's lineup.
I would expect him in that. I would expect him in there.
Exactly. So you would expect that midfield of Fagundes, Cerrillo, and Winder, who had been playing pretty well before he missed the Galaxy's last game, and then up top you would expect that Paintsel Peck on the wings, and hopefully Marco Reus in that false 9 with that Yoshida and Amito Garces back pairing center back. If Aude is back to 100, you would want him in that role there, and then of course it's a crapshoot to see who gets it between Mickey Yamane and Mauricio Cuevas. Depends really how you're trying to play that day. I mean, but that would be my starting 11 personally.
Yeah. I mean, not bad options right at right back. So it's nice to see the team getting a little bit healthier again. Hopefully. In the end, look, it's going to depend on the performance. The lineups are going to help you in some capacity, but at the end of the day, like, what is the performance level going to be? That's going to be the kicker here. And we'll talk about what the Galaxy need to do here to win in a second.
Will we now? But before we do that, go ahead, and I know that you and Dr. Raquinho were working really, really hard on some stats. He told me that you guys went out and had a couple sandwiches and sat down and had outside seating and did some stats. So will you share those with us?
Yeah, I don't have a slide for it because at the end of the day, this is like someone said in chat, kind of a throwaway game. It's two really bad teams going at each other, right? Like I think, like I said, One Eye is on that Campeones Cup because I think we can agree on this, Papa. That has a little bit more weight than this game.
Truth.
That's a little bit of a throwaway, right? But obviously these are the reason why these two teams are terrible is because they are the worst defenses, Papa. Both teams concede 2 goals a game. They're dead last in clean sheets in the league. We only have 3, and so do SKC. SKC have an XG conceded of 65.4 goals, and they've conceded the most goals in the league at 63. Where LA Galaxy, we're right behind them. Our XG conceded is 55, but we've conceded 61. So we've underperformed, actually. like we were supposed to see 54, but we've conceded 61. So, maybe you can look at a couple of goalkeeping mistakes on that and a couple things bouncing here and there.
I don't want to look at them. I want to forget them.
Let's not relive those memories, but it is what it is. But these are 2 very bad defensive teams, right? So it could be a case where both teams are scared to give up that many goals and both teams become compact, or it could be the opposite where both teams go for it. So we'll see how it goes on that. But one stat I thought was interesting, Rob, SKC tied for first for most penalties conceded in the league with 9. So that could be something, JP, and that's the thing though. We've got to get in the box. Like we've got to get in that inside the box, have a lot of touches, have a lot of shots like we did against Cincinnati. I thought we did a good job of that. As I told you in the first half, like we're getting inside that box. So let them make the tackle and let the defender make the move. And SKC will get in that opposition box. 6 most touches in the league, especially with Deki in there. He's a poacher. We know he's a guy that loves his tap-ins. He likes to get in the right position. So there you go.
Oh, well, I mean, he's not only a poacher. I mean, we saw it while he was with the Galaxy, an evolution in Dejan, a guy that was not only a poacher, but a guy that was able to hold up play and work off combinations with different players. And then a couple of times as well, we saw him create for himself. I mean, if you remember that goal against LAFC, that little chop back after receiving the ball and creating a goal out of basically nothing. I mean,
but he definitely developed that. But I mean, something that we've struggled this year is just to get those easy tapping goals, right? Like I always think about shout out Mighty Ducks, right? Like picking up the trash, right? That's Dejan, and that's not a knock by any means. That's a huge compliment, because when you're picking up that trash, you know where to be positionally. He's a fox in the box, right? Like we talked about that with like guys like Mike McGee. They just have a knack of knowing where to be for that ball, to put that ball in the back of the net, and that's Dejan Joveljic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got to say, he's probably like the most dangerous player for SKC. Greg confirmed it. I mean, he carries a lot of their offensive load. And fortunately, the Galaxy know Dejan really, really well. They just, from, what Greg says, have to be careful that they don't get kind of lulled into a sense of feeling like they're okay just because he hasn't really been dangerous for 60, 70 minutes, that at any moment he could just come alive and score. So, I mean, very clearly this game for SKC is going to be one on whether Dejan Joveljic has success against his former team or not. They do have a couple other options like Eric Tommy, 4 goals, 4 assists. Manu Garcia is probably their creator with 2 goals and 9 assists. He and Joveljic have combined pretty well. And Shapi Suliamanov, 2 goals and 4 assists. Probably a couple of other options on the offense, but make no mistake, they are going to do as well as Dejan Joveljic does in this match. And it's going to break my heart to see him score against the Galaxy. And you know what? I mean, if he celebrates, that's going to break my heart even more. Ananda, for the Galaxy to win this match, they have to ... That is, for the Galaxy to win this match, they have to ... And before Ananda answers, y'all, go ahead and start dropping in those match predictions. Let us know who you think is going to win this match. It might be a meaningless match, like eSuper1 says, but still, the Galaxy are playing for pride. So let us know who you think will win this one. Ananda, for the Galaxy to win this match, they have to beat.
Rob, for the Galaxy to win, the killer peas need to be the killer peas again. That's a phrase that we haven't used in a while, right? And this thought sprung into my mind because I was on that show last night with Soccer in 60, and I talked about the drop off in the individual production of both Gabriel Peck and Joseph Paintsil. We know the quality that they have. They showed it to us last year. Like their numbers were insane, right? But this year, let's face it, they haven't been the same player. And for a team that is so bad defensively in SKC, we see it in their numbers, we see it in the underlying stats. We have to exert that dominance. We have to show them that not only on paper, but on the pitch, we are clearly the better team, especially if you have a front three of Marco Reus, Joseph Paintsil, and Gabriel Peck. And for that to happen, the killer piece have to be the killer piece again. Like we have to, it's not Joseph Paintsil and Gabriel Peck. It's the killer piece, and we need those guys back. And I think if those guys lead the way and lead the charge, and they have a goal each or shoot a brace each, I think we're well on our way to win this game. And yeah, I think we just have to be offensively dominant, and I think it's the killer piece for sure. They got to lead the way.
For the Galaxy to win this match, more of the same as Cincinnati, just like you said earlier. They did well to create chances. They should have gotten more. They didn't. So if at first you don't succeed, go out there and bust it again. Oh, eSuper 1 maybe just gave us the factoid that I've been looking for, and 500K. eSuper 1, confirm, is that the prize money for winning Campeones? Because I've been looking for the prize for this, and if that is in fact...
Now, is
that changes things, obviously.
But is that now Gam, Ram... Fam,
Wham, thank you, ma'am. Exactly. No, you and then does it count against you? I mean, thanks. eSuper 1 says yep. So I mean, we'll go ahead and do our own research and confirm that this is indeed the prize money. But yeah, eSuper 1 I had been talking about at the top of the show that I had been kind of looking for what the prize was for this, like what the if there was like an international designation, what the winner got. If it is from 500K, then that's a pretty nice haul. So who knows what it'll be, if it'll be wham bam, thank you, man. But if you got to think that since it's an international trophy and not an MLS trophy, that it'll just be cash, right?
Yeah, I hope so. We've plata, bro. I hope we put it towards the fundraiser for Lewandowski's salary next year.
Sheesh, look at you. the
put in the GoFundMe.
Exactly right. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I could be dead wrong on this one, but if you were to ask me right now, I don't think that's happening. I mean, this is the timing. The timing doesn't work out. I mean, he's.
Hey, bro, we can buy more bobbleheads at that.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get it. Because we definitely need more than those 5K. But anyway, let's start winding this one down. Ananda, did you have some betting odds? I know you and Doc Ricchino might have been working on something.
Yes, sir. It's on the screen right now. So Sporting Kansas City, 23.6% chance of winning. LA Galaxy, 51.9. So more than half there. A draw is at 24.5. Projected goals, I was a little surprised to see it this low. 1.65 for the Galaxy to 1. So it'll be like a 2-1 game, something like that. I think it's going to be high scoring, Rob. I don't know. Both teams really have nothing to lose. I feel like they're going to go guns blazing. Both teams are horrible defensively. There's going to be defensive mistakes at some level, right? At some point in this game. I don't think it's going to be cagey because, like I said, both teams really have nonce to play for. So, but let's find out in our score predictions, which you're going to go first.
Watch these guys come out like prime Barcelona. It's like Deki and all this.
Bro, Lewandowski scored another one today. Ridiculous. Like that guy's a machine, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This isn't happening. I mean, plus he's what, 38? Like by the time he's
pushing 40.
Near 40. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't see that one happening. Anyway, we'll talk about that on another Lacuna Galaxiana pod. Y'all saw the betting odds. Ananda says that I got to go first. Yes, I am going to go in the positive today.
Hold on. But we're both wrong. Because remember, chat always goes first.
Chat always goes first. Thank you for calling me on that.
There you go. So Soccer Home says 5-1 Galaxy. Oof, would love that. Joe 13 Cool, 3-2 Gs. Dejan scores, of course. I can see that happening.
Does he celebrate though?
Good question. What's the over and under on that? So I don't see anyone. Keep dropping them, guys. For sure. Rob, go first.
I'm going 3-1.
Simple. Any reasoning? Just a gut feeling?
Well, no. Just based on the stats, there's usually around 3 to 4 goals in this one, and
Yeah.
like you said, you're surprised that they're only calling around 2.5 in this one. No, there's usually more, especially because these defenses aren't that great. So there's bound to be more goals in this one. I'm calling at least 3 or 4 goals in this one, and fortunately, I think that 3 of them are going to be for the Galaxy, 3-1.
Yeah, I'm going 4-1, Papa. 4-1. I'm gonna stay true to my earlier shout for the Galaxy to win, and I'm gonna call Gabriel Peck and Joseph Paintsill both
Ooh,
brace.
I like it. I like it a lot because that means they are rounding back into form.
And Deki goal, of course.
Yeah, I think so too. Joe 13 Goal says Dejan doesn't celebrate the first one, but maybe his second. Quizás. Who knows? I love Dejan, and I wish him all the best, but just not on Saturday against the Galaxy. It is what it is. But I wish him the best in every chess match that he ever has. Ananda, do you have anything else to add before we get on out of here and we get out of people's hair? They're probably like, man, we got shut up already.
I know. No, I just again, sorry for the late start, guys, but thank you for joining us per the usual. Yeah, super fun chat. You guys are amazing. All the new guys or all the new folks in chat. Welcome. We hope you enjoyed our community. We hope you enjoyed interacting with us. And
thanks for stopping by, y'all.
Please do come back. And like I said, we can't announce anything yet, but we're so hopeful. Rob was working so hard to get a very special guest on Monday before Campeones Cup. So stay tuned, guys, and thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, thank you guys for another episode. Being here with us and contributing to a fun time. We do appreciate it. We will catch you on Monday 29th, September 29th next, where we'll bring you our Galaxy versus Sporting Kansas City reaction podcast, plus get you ready for the Campeones Cup with everything you need to know about the Galaxy's next opponent, Toluca. And like I said, like Ananda said, stay tuned. Hopefully we have something big for you on Monday. And then on Thursday, October 2nd, we'll bring you a Galaxy versus Toluca Campeones Cup reaction podcast, where hopefully we can report that the Galaxy have picked up a trophy this season and 500 bands.
Woo!
Now that I know that, let's go play some craps with 500 bands. Anything else to add, Ananda, before we get out of here?
Or a 1-bedroom condo in LA. Like that's right. Oh man, there you go. Anyways, before that gets off the rails, I love you guys. Os queremos mucho, and we'll see you on the next one. Rob, only one thing left to say. Bye.
Yeah, only one thing left to say besides, like Ananda said, we love y'all. And here it is. G's up. One day I'm going to try to hold